that they all learn when they first arrive, and it may seem really strange, this next one, is that they all learn how to blow their nose on command too. Now, there is a good reason for this. Like us humans, sea lions can suffer with nose and throat infections. So we have to easily be able to take a sample of breath and make sure that they're nice and healthy inside as well as out. Now normally I'd use the sample dish for this, then that'd get sent away to the labs for analysis. However, for demonstration purposes, I don't have any sample dishes. Yes, Marvin, we are going to use my hand. Yeah, are you ready, Marv? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, blow. And again. And again. Oh, that was a good one. You can have that back. Oh, and of course, for the clap. Yes, very well. Okay, moving swiftly on from that rather disgusting part of the show, let's get to some showing off. Now, sea lions are naturally very good at catching. They have very quick reflexes. They have that long, flexible and streamlined body shape too. This enables them to move through the water at a top speed of 15 to 20 miles an hour. Very useful for chasing and catching the fish, squid, eel and octopus that makes up their diet. Now, we don't have any live fish for Marvin to catch here. His has all been frozen and defrosted. So we're going to show you his excellent catching skills using these hoops instead. Now then, I'm going to make it a bit tricky for him today, because I'm going to add a twist to each one, and this way he has to adjust his head right at the last second so that the hoops don't bounce off of his nose. You can see those fast reactions really coming into play there. Now, sea lions have got what is known as binocular vision, which means they're very good at judging distance and speed. And now they have the same kind of vision as us. Binocular vision means 2 eyes facing forward, and that gives them the great catching skills. Now, you've done very well so far, Marv. Can we make it a perfect 5? Oh, it's a tricky one. Yes, look at that. Great bit of catching there, Marv. Very fast reactions. Good boy. Now, every time that a sea lion goes out into the water to look for fish, there are a few things that are out looking for them too. These guys have got to be on the lookout for 2 different types of predators. Now, one of them is a fellow marine mammal, the killer whale, and the other one, ironically, is a rather large type of fish. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. I'm hoping that you can guess from Marvin's impression, okay? I'll give you a bit of a clue. Da-da-da, da-da. What is it? Don't be afraid to shout out. I can't hear you. Yes, of course. This is Marvin's very convincing shark impression. Now, tiger sharks, bull sharks and great white sharks will all prey on sea lions, and the occasional surfer too. So Marvin, can you give us a bit of advice? What would you do if you saw a killer whale or Jaws behind you? Yep, you leg it. You get out of the water as fast as possible and head for dry land. Yes, sea lions don't actually have to be wet or be in water to survive. They spend most of their time in the wild on dry land where it's much safer for them. They only go out into the water for a couple of hours a day to catch the fish that they need. Good job. Now, something that sea lions often get confused with is their close relative, the seal, okay? Now, we have to make it clear here at the show, there are no seals here at Flamingo Land. They are all California sea lions that we have here. Now, the 2 animals do look very similar, and they belong to the same family, known as the pinniped family, but they are different creatures. And Marvin and I are going to show you a few ways that you can tell them apart. Now, first of all, if you take a look just behind Marvin's eyes, you'll notice that he has these tiny, sticky out ear flaps. Now, these are called pinna, and only sea lions have these. Seals do, of course, have ears, but there's just a small hole in the same place covered with fur. So if you can see the ears sticking out from the side of the head, it's a sea lion that you are looking at and not a seal. Now, the next thing to look at is their flippers. Sea lions have large, powerful front flippers that they use for swimming and for walking. As you can see there, Marvin's front flipper is a similar size to my arm, whereas the seal's front flipper, well, that would be much smaller, about the same size as a human hand. So quite a big difference there, as sea lions have much larger front flippers. And that brings us on to what is probably the most obvious difference, the way in which they move on land. So come for a walk, Marv. Now you'll notice as Marvin moves around, his front flippers bend in the middle and his back flippers tuck up under the body to lift his entire body up off the ground, unless he's cheating like that. Yes, sea lions can run, they can jump, and they can even climb if they need to. They are quite agile on land, they move quickly and comfortably. However, a seal doesn't move in this way. A seal moves a bit more like this. Yes, that's right. They wriggle along on their bellies, a bit like a giant caterpillar, and that's because they don't have the size or the power in the two front flippers to be able to stand up. A very good impression, Marv. Yes, and that's actually another thing. A seal cannot clap because its flippers are wingless and it's in the middle. Now, something that sea lions are famous for is a bit of balancing. Now this is a great thing to teach them in captivity because it keeps them busy for years learning how to do it. Now we start off training balancing by placing a basketball on their nose and asking them to hold it there for just 1 or 2 seconds. Now it normally takes a sea lion about 2 to 3 years to pick up just that. However, it took Marvin just a couple of months. So he's really, really talented at this. He's so good at this that he should be able to catch the ball if I throw it to him. Now I'm stood quite far away. I hope the sun's not in your eyes, Marv. Are you ready? Catch that. Well done, good boy. Terrible throw from me, but a great catch from him. Now, the secret to sea lions being able to balance is all in their whiskers. They have about 50 bristly whiskers on their nose. These are really sensitive to movements and vibrations. Now the whiskers aren't strong enough to hold the ball or move the ball, but they can point upwards and feel which way that ball is moving. And then the sea lion can adjust their head and stop the ball from falling. Now obviously in the wild they do not use their whiskers to balance things on their noses. They do that here because we've shown them that they can. They actually use their whiskers naturally to help them find food. When a fish swims, its tail moves the water behind it. Their whiskers detect these movements, which then leads the fish. So even if the water is dark and murky, or the sea lion goes blind, they are still able to hunt and find their dinner. And it's all thanks to those whiskers. Now you can tell Marvin's a pro at this because he's keeping that head really, really still. So I'll take that back, Marvin. That was a lovely balance, good boy. But if I'm being honest, balancing on his stand like that doesn't really challenge him anymore. And a big part of our job is keeping the animals occupied and not letting them get bored. So we always have to train new things or make existing activities like balancing even more tricky. Now with balancing we can make it harder by changing the object we'd like him to balance. So here we have Marvin's very own bowling skittle. Be very careful, see if you can hold on to that for me. Now not only is this quite a bit more heavy than the basketball, but it's also very narrow, and that's what makes this difficult. He can only use a couple of tiny whiskers to feel where that skittle is. But for Marv, still not challenging enough. So carefully come down off of your stand, down the step, over here, let everyone see there's no glue, no string attached to this skittle, it's not a trick. Back up the step, and now really show off. Yes, he can jump into the pool, still keeping that skittle on top of his nose. Now it has taken him years and years of practice, but he is the only sea lion here that can do this, and it still amazes me every time I see it. Marvin, you are by far the best at balancing. That was perfect. Go on, I'll see that. Okay, now we have reached the end of Marvin's part in this particular display here today. We're going to ask him to disappear into his dressing room for just a minute because we quickly have another sea lion for you all to meet. So Marvin, give everybody a nice big wave goodbye. That's it, and he will be back out at the end of the show. But for now, Marv, you follow me. Please give him one last clap as he leaves the stage. Please wave, Marv.
when you wasn't.
Okay, so the next sea lion that we're going to be meeting is called Clive. And Clive is the oldest and the largest sea lion that we have here. He looks a little bit different to Marvin and the others, although they are all the same species. They're all California sea lions that we have here. However, Clive just celebrated his 24th birthday, and he's our fully matured alpha male. Out you come, Clivey. And yes, he is quite a big chap. And that basically means that around here, he is the boss, okay? Right then, Clive, up you get onto your stand. Take your time. There we go. Greet your audience, give everybody a nice big wave. Good boy. You're looking very fluffy, Clive. I think he's been laid on the side sunbathing. Now, do I get a greeting too? Thank you. Oh, mwah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Clive. That was quite disgusting. Now, Clive joined us about 7 years ago now from a park in Cleethorpes. And he's a lovely sea lion to work with. For a big male, he's really friendly, so we're very lucky in that respect. However, if I'm being honest, our Clive is not the brightest of sea lions. He doesn't do an awful lot out here. Oh, Clive, don't worry. We're going to show everybody what you can do, okay? And we'll start off with, well, what shall we start off with? Earlier on, you saw Marvin balancing a ball. Clive's been practicing that for 20 years, and he still can't do it, hasn't got a clue. He can't catch a hoop either. You throw a hoop towards him, and he just ducks out of the way. Yes. However, he can catch a basketball. He just doesn't use his nose, okay? He prefers to use his big front flippers. Now, if I'm being honest, this is quite difficult, so if he manages it, please do give him a cheer, okay? Clive, get your girly gloves on. That's a good start. Right then, are you ready? Catch this. Oh, good. Keep holding. Look how proud he looks. Good boy. I'll take that. That was a brilliant catch. Yes, I'll work on my throwing. Now, what we've really brought Clive out here to do is to finish the show for you guys with his grand finale, the high ball jump. Now, what he's got to do is power himself out of the water using those big front flippers to hit that pink ball there with his nose, okay? I had a feeling he might do that. Quite often we do get asked, how do we make the sea lions perform every day? Well, the answer to that is we don't, because we can't. If a 42-stone sea lion wants to go for a swim, you just have to let it go for a swim. Are you doing shark impressions, Clive? What are you doing? Marvin's already done that. Come on, stop showing off. I think he just went for a little bit of a cool down. Come on, up you get. Now, that was absolutely lovely, but it's not what we wanted you to do, is it? We were talking about the high ball. It's the grand finale. Now, where were we? What was I saying? Yes, this... Right, stop it. Yes, this 42-stone sea lion is going to leap out of the water to hit that pink ball. It takes him quite a lot of effort, so please do help me in giving him a countdown from 3 to 1 and a cheer if he gets a whisker to it, alright? Now, a quick word of warning for you guys sat just there. I believe I mentioned that Clive weighs around about 40 stone. That is quite a big jump, and that is quite a lot of water. It does all depend on how he lands. You have had your warning. Okay, are we ready then? Nice and loud. From 3, 3, 2, 1, go! Go on, Clive, you can do it! Yeah! A brilliant jump, and not a bad splash too. Clive, that was a fantastic end to the show. Now you can take your applause. You are a star. No, we do hope you've enjoyed meeting some of our sea lions here today. If you guys have any questions about them, then do please come. What are you doing today? Please do come and chat to a member of staff. Myself and other members of staff will be found inside, just through the double doors over there, where we have a small shop where we sell books and posters featuring the sea lions that we have here. In fact, we've got a very gorgeous poster of Clive looking pretty much just like that. And the proceeds go back towards helping us with fish and vet bills. Mainly his fish bills, if I'm being honest. We will be bringing out the other sea lions to join Clive in the main pool, so feel free to come inside and take a look at them swimming around together. But from all of us here, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.